bringing that up, and that's really what I want to talk about next. It has to do with happiness. I mean, that's a big word, happiness. What does it mean? That's like saying, what does love mean, right? And because it obviously means many different things to different people. So we're not going to sit here and try to frame what happiness should look like or should be for each individual out there, because it's going to be different for everybody, right? And that's just naturally what we're going to choose to expect. But the key is to be able to identify and then self-identify whether you are happy or satisfied or fulfilled with whatever or wherever you are in your life or not. And that's really why we wanted to bring that up. When we say, get to this place of happiness, it's not necessarily a destination or a specific thing, but it is an awareness that I think people need to have of themselves and within themselves. Am I happy? Am I satisfied? Do I feel fulfilled? What are your thoughts on that?
So a friend of mine, Katina, she posted a question this week, and she posted, "Are you happy?" And so I replied, "Define happy," because some people were saying yes, no, and nobody ever said define happy, because of course it means different things to different people. And so she responded, happiness is content. Happy is content. And so I replied, because for me, happiness is when I'm fruitful, like when I'm helpful, when I'm producing good, whether it's good feelings, good service, good results, it's when I'm fruitful. So some people think happiness is content. Happiness could be love. Happiness could be, it's just a lot of different feelings, because it is a feeling.
It is.
It's not a state of being. Right. It is a feeling. So yes, it is different for everybody. So for me, happiness is being fruitful. And so basically it's an action.
And see, and again, that's why we really wanted to bring that up and get that out on the table, so people really can start to dive into and think about what is happiness to them from a definition standpoint in their world, right? Because you say fulfillment, you're putting things out there and you're contributing, and that's the space that really makes you happy. And you've heard me say this a lot of times. One of the things that I look for is peace, and I really mean that more from the standpoint of, in some ways, predictability and consistency, right? That things are just not helter skelter, right? And just all over the place. So trying to find that rhythm in life, that harmony in life, that there seems to be some predictability, some peace, some harmony. That's, for me, a place of happiness, right?
Right.
So totally different than yours.
Right. And that's the way it is, because some people would think your definition of happiness, like the predictability, okay, that's kind of boring for me. And then some people would think my definition of happiness being fruitful, they would be like, oh, that's tiring for me. That's doing a lot of stuff for other people. That's not, that doesn't make me happy. If I'm doing something for myself, that makes me happy. So everybody has their own definition of happiness. And that is something that we really have to horn in on, is, having your own definition of happiness, because I've heard people say that happiness is based on a feeling, or something has to happen for you to be happy. And that's when you go into happiness or joy. And that's a whole total different topic that we could go we can go on. And so you really have to think about what actually makes you happy. So when you say, are you happy? You really need to think about what really makes you happy.
Absolutely. And there's a whole different subject, and we'll go down that road, I think, a different time. But that goes back to being grateful and showing gratitude, because, you get in that cycle of, well, when I get the new job, then I'll be happy. But then you get the job, and then you say, but then when I get the new car, well, then I'll be happy. Right? And then you get that too. And then, but when I get the new house, well, then I'll be happy. Right? But what about all of that time as you've gone through these steps, which may have been 2 or 3 years? So are you saying to yourself that, you're not happy, you're not satisfied, you're not fulfilled, you're not grateful with what you've had in your life that period of time? And that's the trap that we really need to look out for when we talk about happiness, and saying that there's a place or a thing that we need to get to achieve it. And we have to be really cautious of that.
And I think that's where my friend Katina was going with that's where she was going when she said contentment. Because really, like you just said, when I get this, I'll be happy. When I get this, I'm happy. But what about the journey to it? And a lot of people say, well, on payday, I'm just so happy. But that in between time, I'm in a bad mood. Well, something has to happen for you to be happy. So what about that in between time? What are you doing in the between that payday and that payday? Or are you still content? Are you still doing things that you enjoy? Are you still learning these lessons that won't necessarily make you unhappy until Friday come again? Mm-hmm. So when I can understand her saying being content, meaning, okay, I did get paid. I'm content, but I'm content even if I didn't get paid. Mm-hmm. And so you fill your life up with things that matter, even if the payday never came. I'm still happy.
Absolutely.
So I think that's where she was going with that.